It was a quiet evening in a small house on the edge of the city. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted orange and pink. Inside the house, 10-year-old Alina sat on the sofa, watching cartoons. Her mother, Zara, was busy in the kitchen, preparing dinner. Suddenly, Alina scratched her arm and looked confused. She noticed something strange, a small round bump just below her elbow. "Mama?" she called. "Yes, John," Zara replied from the kitchen. Alina walked over and showed her arm. "Look at this. There's something on my arm." Zara wiped her hands and took a look. She touched the bump lightly. It's just a mosquito bite. Don't worry, it'll go away by morning." Alina looked unsure. "But it feels a little hard." Zara smiled and kissed her forehead. "You're thinking too much. Just don't scratch it." Alina nodded, though she didn't feel right. The bump wasn't itchy like a mosquito bite. It didn't hurt either. But it felt weird, hard, like something was inside. That night, Alina lay in bed and looked at her arm under the flashlight. The bump was still there, round and firm. She pressed it gently. It didn't hurt, but it didn't feel normal either. She turned to the wall and whispered to herself, "Please don't grow." Next morning, as sunlight filled the room, Zara came in to wake her daughter. Alina slowly opened her eyes, but before anything, she looked at her arm. She gasped. The bump had grown, just a little, but it was clearly bigger than last night. She ran to her mom. "Mama, look, it's bigger now." Zara turned, holding a mug of tea in her hand. She looked at the bump, frowning. Maybe you scratched it in sleep. These things happen." "No, Mama, I didn't touch it," Alina insisted. Zara sighed. Okay. If it's still there by tomorrow, we'll go to the doctor. Now come, eat your breakfast." Alina sat at the table, but her eyes kept going to the bump. She had a strange feeling inside, like something was wrong. Later that day, Alina went to school. She tried to focus in class, but her mind was on her arm. During lunch break, her best friend Heina noticed it. "Ew, what's that?" Hina asked. "I don't know. It just showed up." Hina touched it softly. "It feels hard." Alina nodded. For the rest of the day, she kept her arm covered. She didn't want anyone else to ask. That evening, Zara sat with her husband Amir, watching the news. Alina came and sat between them. "Mama, Baba, I feel tired," she said quietly. Zara looked at her daughter with a bit more concern. "Are you feeling sick?" "No, just tired. And my bump is still growing, I think." Amir took her arm, gently, and examined the bump. His eyes narrowed. "This doesn't look like a normal bite, Zara." Zara finally began to feel nervous. The bump was now about the size of a grape. "Okay, tomorrow morning. We're going to the clinic." Alina looked relieved. "Promise?" "Yes. First thing," Amir said. That night, Alina had trouble sleeping. She kept checking the bump under the blanket. It was warm to the touch now. Her arm felt heavy. She wanted to cry, but she didn't want to scare her parents. At midnight, she got up and went to the bathroom. In the mirror, under the dim light, she saw her reflection. The bump looked darker now, like it was changing color. She stared at it. "What are you?" Then she whispered, "Please, don't grow anymore." In the morning, Zara entered her daughter's room and gasped. Alina's arm was swollen. The bump had doubled in size overnight. "Amir, come here!" she shouted. Amir rushed in, saw Alina's arm, and froze. "Get the car. We're going to the hospital now." Alina looked scared but said nothing. Her eyes were wide. Her heart was racing. As they left the house, Zara kept blaming herself inside. "I should have taken her yesterday. Why didn't I listen?" In the car, Alina sat quietly in the back seat, holding her arm close. Her body felt weak, her eyes were heavy. Zara turned and asked, "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Alina simply said, "I'm scared, Mama." Zara looked at her daughter with tears in her eyes. "Don't worry, John. We'll find out what this is. Everything will be okay." But in her heart, she wasn't sure anymore. The car rushed through the morning traffic. Inside, the silence was heavy. Alina sat in the back seat, her arm resting on a pillow. Her face was pale. Her eyes stared out the window, but she wasn't looking at anything. Zara kept turning around to check on her. "Just a little more, John," she said softly. Amir's hands were tight on the steering wheel. He wasn't saying anything, but his face showed everything: worry, fear, and guilt. "How could it grow this fast?" he whispered. They reached the hospital and rushed into the emergency room. A nurse saw Alina's arm and quickly brought a wheelchair. "We'll take her in right now," the nurse said. Doctors and nurses surrounded Alina. They gently touched her swollen arm, checked her temperature, and asked questions. "When did this start? Does it hurt? Has she had a fever?" Zara answered everything, but her voice was shaking. "It started 2 nights ago. No fever. But it keeps growing." The doctor nodded. "We'll run some tests. Please, wait outside." Zara and Amir sat on the hospital bench, holding hands. They didn't speak for a while. Then Amir finally said, "What if it's something serious?" Zara didn't answer. She couldn't. Her throat was tight. She just looked at the door, waiting for any news. After what felt like hours, a nurse called them in. The doctor stood beside a screen showing some scans. "Mr. and Mrs. Amir, we need to talk." Inside the small room, the doctor pointed to the scan image. "This is not a simple infection. The bump is growing from the tissue inside her arm. It's not on the skin. It's deeper." Zara's heart dropped. "Is it cancer?" she asked. The doctor paused. "We're not sure yet. It could be a rare growth, maybe a tumor. We need to do more tests, blood work, a biopsy, maybe even an MRI. Amir leaned forward. "How dangerous is it?" The doctor looked serious. "Right now, it's not affecting any bones or nerves. But if it grows more, it can. You brought her in at the right time." Zara held her chest. She felt like she couldn't breathe. "What happens now?" "We admit her today. We'll monitor the growth. If it keeps getting bigger, we may need to do surgery." Back in the hospital bed, Alina looked up as her parents entered. "Am I staying here?" she asked. Zara smiled softly. "Yes, baby. Just for a little while." Alina looked at her arm. "It's really bad, isn't it?" Zara shook her head. "No, sweetie. The doctors just want to be careful." But inside, Zara knew they were scared. As the sun set, Zara sat beside Alina's bed. Amir had gone to bring clothes and food from home. Alina whispered, "Mama, do you remember when I broke my arm?" Zara smiled. "Yes. You were climbing the mango tree. This hurts more, but in a weird way." Zara took her hand. "You're very brave." Alina closed her eyes. "I just don't want to lose my arm." Zara's heart cracked, but she didn't show it. "You won't. I promise." Late at night, the nurse came in with new reports. Zara stepped outside the room to hear the update. "The bump grew again, just in a few hours," the nurse said. Zara froze. "How is that possible? The nurse sighed. "That's why we're worried. It's growing too fast." Zara felt dizzy. "Why is this happening to my little girl?" She returned to Alina's bedside and gently kissed her head. The next morning, a senior doctor came to see them. He looked calm but serious. "We are transferring Alina to the children's hospital in the city. They have better tools and specialists. It's urgent." Amir had just returned, holding Alina's favorite blanket. He heard the word urgent and dropped everything. What's wrong now? The doctor showed them the new scan. It's spreading towards the shoulder. We need to act fast. Zara broke. Down. Amir held her tightly. We'll go, right now, he said. Alina was moved into an ambulance, with Zara by her side. Where are we going? Alina asked. To a special hospital, John. They will help you better. Alina held her mom's hand. Will I be okay? Zara nodded, even though tears filled her eyes. Yes, you're strong. You're my little warrior. The ambulance drove away, with its siren cutting through the morning silence. The children's hospital was quiet when they arrived. The walls were painted with bright colors, animals, balloons, and stars. But Zara couldn't smile. She held Alina's hand tightly as the nurses rolled her into a new room. Amir followed behind, his heart heavy. We're here now, he whispered. This place is better. Zara nodded, but inside, she was still scared. A new team of doctors came to see them. One of them was Dr. Karim, a kind-looking man with silver hair and soft eyes. Hello, Alina, he said gently. I'm here to help. Alina gave a small smile. Will it hurt? Dr. Karim shook his head. We'll do everything to make sure it doesn't. He turned to the parents. We'll start with more tests today. I know it's been a lot, but we need answers. Zara and Amir agreed. They had no choice. Alina was taken for an MRI, the E. Machine was loud and scary, but she stayed still. Zara waited outside, praying silently. Please, God, please let it be something small. But deep inside, she felt the truth was something else, something worse. After a few hours, Dr. Karim called them to a private room. We have the results, he said. Please sit. Zara's hands began to shake. Amir held her shoulder. Dr. Karim pointed at the scans. It's not a normal growth. It's a rare type of tumor. But it's not cancer. That's the good news, Zara gasped. Thank God. But Dr. Karim raised his hand. However, it's aggressive. It grows very fast. We need to remove it before it affects her nerves or blood flow. Amir leaned forward. Is it safe? It's a difficult surgery, but we have the best team. If we wait, she could lose her arm, or worse. Zara covered her mouth. The room began to spin. Later that night, Zara sat by Alina's bed again. She looked at her daughter's calm face. The room that once felt peaceful now felt like a storm. Zara sat frozen, Dr. Karim's words echoing in her mind. It's just the beginning. Amir stood beside her, not saying a word. His hand was on Zara's shoulder, but she couldn't feel it. Her mind was racing. What else could be inside my baby's body? Alina was asleep, holding her stuffed bear close. Her small chest rose and fell gently. Dr. Karim waited a few moments and then said softly, We didn't want to say this before the surgery, but during the operation, we saw signs that the tumor may have roots in the bone. Zara blinked in confusion. Roots? What does that mean? It means part of it may be growing inside the bone itself. If that's true, it can come back, and this time, stronger. Zara felt like someone had punched her in the stomach. Amir asked, What do we do now? We need a bone biopsy. We'll take a small piece of the bone to check. That will tell us everything. The next day, Alina was taken in for another procedure. This time, Zara didn't cry. She was too tired, too broken. She just held her daughter's hand and whispered, You are my warrior. Mama is proud of you. Amir kept walking up and down the hallway, his hands shaking. After an hour, the biopsy was done. Then came the hardest part, waiting. 3 days passed. Alina started smiling again. She laughed when Zara told her bedtime stories. She played with her stuffed bear and drew pictures with crayons. But Zara and Amir could not smile back. Their hearts were stuck in fear. Then, one morning, Dr. Karim returned with a folder in his hand. His face was serious. "We have the biopsy results," he said. Zara stood up. Amir did too. They held hands tightly. Dr. Karim opened the folder slowly. "The growth is inside the bone. It's spreading. We caught it early. But we have to act fast." Zara couldn't breathe. She felt like the floor was moving. "What does that mean? Another surgery?" Dr. Karim hesitated. "Maybe, but this time it may not be enough." He looked down, then back up. "Alina will need chemotherapy." The word hit Zara like a brick. "Chemo? But she's just a child!" Amir stepped forward. "What will that do to her?" "It will make her weak. She may lose her hair. She'll feel tired, sick. But it's the best way to fight what's inside." Zara shook her head. "She just had surgery. She's smiling again. Please, isn't there another way, Doctor?" Karim sighed. "If we wait, the disease will win." Zara turned to Amir. "What do we do?" He looked into her eyes and said quietly, "We fight, just like she is." That night, Zara sat beside Alina again. She stroked her daughter's hair and said softly, "The doctor wants to give you a special medicine." Alina looked up. "Will it hurt?" Zara tried to smile. "A little, but only for a while. After that, you'll be strong again." Alina nodded. "I'm not scared, Mama." Zara wiped her tears. "You are so brave." Alina reached out and touched Zara's cheek. "I'll be okay, right?" Zara nodded. "Yes, we'll fight together." The next morning, the nurses came to prepare Alina for her first chemo session. Zara helped her put on a little pink cap to keep her head warm. Amir whispered in Alina's ear, "Your warrior bear says he's ready too." Alina smiled and gave a thumbs up. The nurse looked at Zara and said, "This is just the beginning. There will be hard days, but she's strong, and she has you." Zara nodded. She wasn't sure if she was ready, but she knew she had to be. As the medicine flowed into Alina's tiny veins, Zara watched her daughter's eyes slowly close. She held her hand and whispered, "We're going to win this battle, Alina." Amir stood behind them. He looked up at the ceiling and whispered his own prayer, "Please, don't take her from us." But outside the hospital room, a nurse was speaking quietly on the phone. She held the test results in her hand, something no one had seen yet, something shocking, something that could change everything. The hospital hallway was quiet. Only the soft beep of machines and footsteps of nurses could be heard. But behind the nurses' station, a young nurse named Aisha held a file tightly in her hands. Her hands were shaking. She looked at the file name, Alina Yusuf. Urgent note: Sayesha had found the file accidentally while updating Alina's chart. What she saw inside made her heart beat faster. She rushed to the senior doctor's office and knocked quickly. "Dr. Karim, you need to see this." He looked up from his computer. "What is it?" She handed him the file. "These are results from the special scan done before the surgery. They were placed in the wrong folder. Nobody saw them." Dr. Karim opened the file, and as he read, his face turned pale. In Alina's room, Zara was helping her sit up. Alina looked weak. Her smile was still there, but her eyes looked tired. Chemo had started to change her. Her hair was falling, and she often felt dizzy. But she still tried to laugh, still tried to be strong. Zara was reading her a story when Dr. Karim entered the room, holding the secret file. Amir stood up at once. "Is something wrong?" Dr. Karim sat down slowly. "Zara, Amir, I need to tell you something very important." Zara's heart started beating fast again. "Is it about the chemo?" "Yes, but more than that." He held up the file. These results were missed before. It was a mistake on our side, and I'm truly sorry. Zara felt a chill run through her body. What did you miss? Dr. Karim took a deep breath. There is a rare condition, very rare, where a lump like this is not cancer. Amir's eyes widened. Not cancer? Yes. Sometimes it's something called bone cystic growth. It looks exactly like cancer. It behaves like cancer, but it's not. Zara was speechless. So you're saying the chemo might not be needed? Dr. Karim nodded. That's what this report shows. We still need to confirm with one more test. But there's a very strong chance this is not cancer. Zara covered her mouth with her hands. Her eyes filled with tears. You gave her chemo. My baby. Dr. Karim looked down. We followed the signs we had, but this new result changes everything. Amir stepped forward. Do the test, right now. We already sent for it. The team is preparing. The next few hours were full of silence and fear. Alina was taken in for the scan. Zara and Amir sat outside the room holding hands. Neither said a word. Their hearts were full of hope and pain. That evening, Dr. Karim returned with the final report in his hands. It's confirmed, he said slowly. Alina does not have cancer. Zara gasped. She's okay? Doctor. Karim smiled for the first time in days. She had a rare bone condition. It looked deadly, but it wasn't. The first surgery removed it completely. She doesn't need chemo anymore. Zara broke down in tears. Amir hugged her tightly. Both of them were crying. Thank God. Thank God, Zara whispered. You saved her, Amir said, turning to Dr. Karim. But Dr. Karim shook his head. Your daughter saved herself. She stayed strong when we were all unsure. The next morning, Zara helped Alina sit outside in the hospital garden. Sunlight touched her small face. She was smiling again. Zara sat beside her. You're going home soon, Alina nodded. Can I have ice cream? Zara laughed through her tears. Yes, sweet girl, as much as you want. But just when things were starting to feel normal again, a journalist came to visit the hospital. She had heard about the mix-up in Alina's case. And she wasn't alone. A hidden camera had captured part of the hospital's mistake. Now, the whole world was about to know. The morning sun rose over the city, but inside Zara's house the mood was heavy. Alina was finally home. Her bed was covered in soft blankets, her favorite stuffed bear by her side. Zara sat next to her, feeding her soup, when Amir rushed in holding his phone. Zara, it's everywhere. Zara looked up, confused. What do you mean? He turned. The phone screen toward her. On the screen was a news headline in big, bold letters. Hospital gives child chemo by mistake. Mother demands answers. Zara's eyes widened. What? Amir scrolled down. A video was playing. It showed part of a hospital hallway. Dr. Karim was talking to a nurse, holding the secret file. The voice in the video said, Due to a mistake, Alina Yusuf, a 7-year-old girl, received chemotherapy for a condition that was not cancer. Her family was never told about an earlier test result. Zara's hand shook as she held the phone. Who recorded this? Someone from the hospital. Maybe that journalist. You saw last week. Just then, Zara's phone started ringing. It was a reporter. She didn't answer. Then another call came. Then another. Within hours, their home was surrounded by journalists. Cameras were outside. Reporters were asking questions. Zara, how do you feel about the hospital's mistake? Do you plan to sue? Can we speak to Alina? Zara held her daughter tightly and closed the curtains. Amir spoke to the crowd outside. Please leave us alone. We're just trying to let our daughter rest. Inside the hospital, things were not calm either. Dr. Karim sat at a table in a boardroom. The hospital director was angry. How could this happen? the director shouted. "This mistake could cost us everything!" Dr. Karim looked tired and guilty. "It was an accident, but I should have caught it. I take full responsibility. The media is destroying us," the director said. "The parents may sue. Do you understand what that means?" Dr. Karim nodded. He got up from his seat. "I'll talk to them. I'll explain everything." Later that day, he stood outside Zara's house. Zara opened the door slowly. Her face looked tired and sad. "Why are you here?" she asked. "To say sorry, not just as a doctor, but as a human." She didn't speak. "I failed you. I should have read that report earlier. I know saying sorry is not enough, but I truly care about your daughter. I still want to help." Zara sighed. "We're not angry at you, Dr. Karim, but we're hurting. Alina lost her hair. She cried in pain. She was scared." One quiet morning, Zara received an envelope at her doorstep. There was no name on it, just one word: truth. She opened it slowly, her heart already heavy with fear. Inside was a printed email. As she read the first few lines, her eyes froze. It was from Dr. Faisal, one of the senior pathologists at the hospital. To Hospital Records Department subject, Alina Yusuf report. Hold for review. Do not release final scan report to general file yet. Still waiting for second opinion. Please keep report on hold. Dr. Faisal. Zara couldn't believe it. He had delayed the file, on purpose. The file that could have saved her daughter from chemo. She felt her hands shaking with anger. Why would he do this? Amir read the email too. "We need to talk to Dr. Karim. Now." That afternoon, they returned to the hospital with the email in hand. Dr. Karim was shocked when he read it. "I didn't know this. Dr. Faisal never told me. He told the records team to hide it," Zara said. "Why?" Dr. Karim thought for a moment, then stood up. "Come with me." They walked down a long hallway into the archives room. Dr. Karim searched the computer system. After a few minutes, he found it. A note in Dr. Faisal's file. Note: delayed report due to potential error in imaging software. Chose to wait rather than risk misdiagnosis. Zara stared at the screen. "So he wasn't sure, and instead of telling anyone, he just waited?" Dr. Karim nodded. "He feared giving false hope. But that decision, it cost your daughter." Zara wiped her tears. "She lost her hair. She cried every night. She didn't need to." Dr. Karim turned to her. "This cannot stay hidden. The hospital must take action." "I want a meeting," Zara said firmly. "With the board, with everyone." A week later, the hospital boardroom was full. Doctors, nurses, directors, media. Everyone was there. Zara stood at the front, holding the same email in her hand. "I'm not here for revenge," she said. "I'm here so no other mother goes through what I did." She turned to the board. "Why are doctors afraid to speak up? Why are mistakes hidden instead of corrected? A child's life is not a file. You hold for review." The room was silent. Then Dr. Karim stood beside her. "We failed, but we can fix the system. We need new rules. Every report must be checked by at least 2 doctors. No test should be delayed without a team discussion." The hospital director stood next. "You are right, Mrs. Yusuf. We failed your family, but we thank you for showing us where we must change." The board agreed to launch a new policy, Alina's Rule, a new hospital safety policy that made sure no report would ever be delayed again. It was named after the little girl who had inspired a hospital to change. Back at home, Alina's hair was slowly growing back. She could play again. She could laugh again. One day, she came to Zara and said, "Mama, I heard them say I'm a hero. Is that true?" Zara smiled with tears in her eyes. "Yes, my sweet girl. You saved more lives than you know." Months later, Zara stood on a stage at a national health conference. She was now a speaker, a voice for patient rights, a mother who fought not just for her daughter, but for every child. Behind her was a picture of Alina smiling in the garden. This is not just her story, this is a warning, a lesson, and a call for every doctor, every hospital to never forget. One missed file can change a life.